Good morning and welcome to Fishin. It is crack of dawn right now, about 5:30. We woke up at about 4 because we're taking a little bit of a trip right now on the road. Not very far, but far enough that we've got to leave a little bit earlier than usual. We are going to fish a spot that I have not done well at this year at all. I've gone there no less than 3 times, 4 if you count that I was staying overnight to fish the spot one day, and I have not caught anything yet from this lake this year. I've caught fish here before, but this year it's just not been happening, so I'm going there. This is probably one of the bodies of water with my worst track record to date, but there is such potential there that I cannot give up on it, and I'm hoping that this will be the day that turns things around. But that being said, we are going after whatever we can. I am leaving no stone unturned today. I'm bringing all 3 of my setups. We're gonna troll if we have to target some trout or whatever we can get. My jigging setup and also my light setup if the inshore bite is my best bet. But we just gotta catch something. I wanna be able to go to this lake and say I made it work for me. So we're gonna be getting there within like the next 30 to 45 minutes, and then we're gonna get out there and you will see it soon enough. So if you're watching this, it means I finally did something at this lake this year. So here's to future self. See y'all out there. All right, rise and shine, we are on the water. And unlike last time or the last couple times I came here, it is much quieter. Like, there were boats all up and down this spot last time, but it is quiet right now. So we are gonna do a little troll. We're gonna throw this deep dive in crankbait and see if we can get something while we go to our first spot. If I get something, you guys will see. All right, so we just tried trolling for a while with occasional jigging and didn't really pan up to anything. So we're gonna try some shallows water fishing, see if there's anything here. Definitely marking a couple things, but anyways, we're not getting skunked today. I don't care if I catch bass or even perch, I just need to catch something. So we're gonna try this and see how this works. We'll start off the Kitech, and if that doesn't work, we'll take it from there. Finally. All right. Oh my God. All right, we just had our first hookup, but unfortunately it did not end the way we wanted to. It snapped me off. I don't know if it was a line quality thing. I mean, this line should be good. There are some fish with teeth to them in this lake, pickerel and pike, I believe, amongst other things. So that might have been the issue, or maybe I should have just been paying closer attention to my line. I don't know. Felt decent. Hopefully it's the first of many hookups, but it's not particularly the way I wanted to start the day off in terms of getting fish or getting hooked up. Got him. Oh my God, what the come on. Oh my God. Dropping every fish. Just dropped another fish. This lake is getting me a little worried right now. Like history's about to repeat itself, which I'm definitely not hoping. Felt like a decent fish too. I got a brief look at the outline. It wasn't small. Wow, I can't believe it. I just turned the camera off to save battery, and then a fish jumps on. I don't know what, feels like a trout on the Ned rig nonetheless. Not a bass, that much I do know. Oh, I think that's a salmon. Yeah, we'll take him. He's 18. It's gonna be close. Oh, he's beat up. It's going nuts. Come on. Come on. That'll make it for sure. What is up with that fish? I don't know what happened to him, but doesn't look good. All right on the dot, 18 inches. So we're taking him. Something happened to him. He got cut or something on the line. So yeah, it's a good thing he measures up. Otherwise he would be one dead fish. First ever landlocked salmon out of this lake. Barely 18 inches. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's not drop them. All right, I don't know what happened to that salmon. Got wrapped up in the line and cut them. I guess they're pretty delicate. I'm just gonna let them bleed out for a little bit, then we're gonna throw them in the ice. That thing came on a Ned rig nonetheless, about 30 feet of water, 25, 30 feet of water. Maybe with a little luck, there'll be another one, I don't know. But the size limit in this lake is 18 inches, and he was right on the dot, 18 inches, so that's what's up. So one thing I did, just because that fish had an open wound, is I gutted it because I don't want those guts to get punctured and then fill in the meat. So I got pretty much everything out that I could and tried to clean it up a bit. And I'm gonna throw this guy in ice, and then we will finish cleaning him up once we get home. It's a little shallower in this cove, so maybe it'll be a little warmer. Find some inshore species, I don't know. Not really seeing a lot. And if there was a lot of fish around, I would see them. This water is very clear. The shadow wrap a shot. If this thing had any place to shine, it'd be here. Got like a fairly shallow flat right here, about 8 feet. Let's get up for a little bit. Stretch the old legs out. Ooh, there's something. Finally. About time. Smallmouth Central. Better late than never. Pulling the boat. That's a chunky one. Alright, we don't want a massive tangle here. Look at that guy. Woo. Chunkosaurus. Wow, look how fat that thing is. Damn. That might be the fattest smallmouth of the season. Not longest, but fattest for show. Look at that gut, man. Thing is not even barely 15 inches, but that is so fat. So fat. Sick. All right. Finally got a bass. See if we can get another. Fish are that fat, there's gonna be some serious weight on anything over 18 inches. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. On a pattern. Took forever, but we finally found a pattern. Oh, damn, that was a good fish. Here he goes. Got him. Finally found. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh man, what a football. Finally found a good solid pattern. These fish are so fat. Oh my God. Look at how fat that thing is. Oh my God. Whew. What a toad. What a toad. That's got to be pushing 3 pounds. Just to give you guys a frame of reference, let's see what we're working with. Upside down, but thing is 16 inches long, but just pure football. Pure football. All right, it took all day. We finally got a pattern, so we're gonna see if we can keep this up and catch a really big smallmouth, because these are the fattest smallmouth I have seen all season. If we can get a fish over 18 inches, it has a very solid shot at 4 pounds. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the one. Woo. Dang. Oh my God, that's massively fat. That could be 4. Oh no. Oh, that might be 5. That might be 5. It's definitely 4. Holy. All right. Don't want a hook full of hands. Sorry, a handful of hooks. Oh my God, look at that. Eating my words a lot this season, but I will give up on fishing right now today if this isn't a 4-pounder. That's gotta be 4 pounds. This isn't the longest fish of the year, but it's definitely the fattest for the smallmouths. Let's get an official weight. All right, here we go, folks, official. All right, pounds, not kilograms. Look at that. There it is. That is my second biggest smallmouth of all time. Just a hair over 4, so it's like tied. My biggest one's 5.5. This one, my second biggest, 4 pound 2 ounces, so this is about the same size. Oh, that was pitiful, but it works. That's what I'm talking about. All right, finally got a 4+ pound smallmouth this year. It was a long time coming, but we did it, so we can end this season freshwater style, at least for the spring, happy. But we can even do better than that. It took a while too to figure it out, but we got it.
So after getting those smallmouth, I tried to replicate that tactic, casting along the shallows, throwing various Rapalas and other lures, and I just couldn't get any more fish. I might have had 1 or 2 more hits. I ended up getting a few perch that I ended up keeping just to have a little bit of food to take home. In addition, I had 1 massive, I think, brown trout or maybe lake trout follow it in, but other than that, I just couldn't really make anything happen after that string of smallmouths.
All right, so we are back. It was a tough day of fishing, but we got our landlocked salmon. So just a couple things. These things are stocked. They are not wild where I was fishing. There's not many places in this country that you can find wild Atlantic salmon all over the place. So these are stocked fairly often at this particular lake. I've never kept one from this body of water. I haven't kept this landlocked salmon since I was in college. It was probably about this size, but it was a different lake. So I'm really curious because I do not remember how these things cook up. I'm curious if it will be anything like, you know, the farm-raised salmon that you will find at the supermarket. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna fillet this guy. One thing I will remind you guys is I did already gut this fish just because he was wounded somehow when I reeled him in. So I got the guts out so that it wouldn't spoil the meat. So we're just gonna get right in and do our thing. So initial impressions, the last fish I kept was the walleye. This is definitely not as firm. This meat is getting cut pretty easily with this knife. This is a different knife though. It's definitely sharper than the last one I used. Noticing there is a little color to the flesh. It's not as orange as, say, what you'd find at the supermarket, but it's definitely got some color, which is cool. And we're just gonna go all the way down to the tail. And before we finish that, we are going to do the other side. Now we just finish. Got a few fins in there, but that's okay. We'll deal with that in a little bit. There's one fillet. And there's the other. And what we're gonna do now is just kind of salvage some of the meat that we missed in our initial go with the fish. And we're just gonna set all that aside. All right, so we just cleaned that salmon. It was an 18-incher. Really not a bad amount of meat. I got all the pin bones out of the middle. I could have picked them, but I don't know. I iced this fish immediately when I got him. Meat is, I don't want to say soft, but it's definitely not as firm as the walleye that we got. I am excited about this one. So we're gonna put this in the fridge and we are going to pick up with it, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day. And yeah, you will be able to see us eat it and give you our verdict. Right, welcome back. So it is the next day right now. We caught that salmon yesterday and now we are going to move on to the cook section. So we have our salmon in here. Looks pretty good. Just this is the salmon. We also caught some yellow perch, which is here. We're gonna cook that separately. Right now we have our pan heating up. So we've got some butter as per usual. It's the first catch clean cook you've seen on my channel. We're cooking all the fish initially the same way, just to kind of get an idea of where they all stand in terms of quality innately. So we're just gonna let that butter work its way around the pan. And as it does, we're just going to place our salmon fillets. They look very nice. Here's one. And here is two. Our two main fillets. We have some small pieces that we have that we trimmed off the carcass. So we're just going to get those and some of the space that's left. Let the pan heat up a bit. Let's take a few minutes. So we're gonna let that get going. Turn that heat up a little bit more. And we're just gonna let that sit and we'll be back in a few minutes. In terms of seasoning and spices, very simple. Just adding a little salt and pepper as this cooks through. The meat's fairly thin, so I don't think it'll take too long, especially for those small pieces. We're just gonna get that going. Now we're just gonna let it sit. Okay, our salmon's just about done, so let's come over here and retrieve it. As you can tell, we lost a lot of the color, which isn't really a surprise to me, but it's not the color that's important, though it is nice. It's the taste. As you may or may not know, if you get farm-raised salmon from the supermarket, the only reason it's pink is because that color is added with dye after the fact. And these are essentially farm-raised salmon that were stocked, probably from a different source. So here we go. Landlocked Atlantic Salmon. Take a bite and see what this is all about. Take a little piece. All right, so I had to take a moment just to think about what I wanted to say. So it's good. It's really good. If I had to compare this, because the immediate comparison is A, to what you get at the store, and B, to other salmonoid species that we've looked at so far. Comparing this to what you get at the store, it's very similar. I would say this is like a slice of salmon that you would get from the supermarket, but not quite as flavorful. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this is not a fish that was necessarily raised with immediate consumption in mind. This is something that was raised to be released, and after that it's kind of having its own diet, and it's not necessarily the same as whatever will be at the fish hatchery, with those fish being fed and bred specifically with immediate consumption in mind. The other thing that's kind of funny is, you'll notice the color. When you look at it and you take a bite, you know, when you see salmon, you immediately think that pinkish color, that salmony color, but this is white. So when you smell it, it smells like salmon, but then you bite into it, you're almost expecting it to be something else, which it's not. It's very similar, and I'm sure if you prepare this the right way, it would be even more salmon-y. But, you know, simple like this, it's only going to get like half the salmon experience. I'm sure there's some really interesting things you can do with this, and I definitely will if and when I get another salmon. But for the time being, pretty good. Comparing this to other trout I've gotten, it's kind of like the lake trout. It's a bit firmer. I think maybe a little bit more innate flavor. Comparing it to the stocky rainbow, which again was another stockfish, I think this has a lot more flavor and, you know, a firmer texture. So overall, I'd say this is probably one of the better salmonoid species that we've gotten so far for these catch clean cooks. So overall, I think this is really good. I think it's probably, excuse me, just got the pepper. It's probably one of my favorite of the salmon trout species that we've gotten so far. Definitely something I want to check out more in the future. And speaking of checking things out, you should definitely check out my other videos. There's plenty of other catch clean cooks, and if you like what you saw, leave a comment, like, subscribe, etc. More to come soon. See y'all next time.